Hi everybody, it's Whitney Magnuson here, and you are live with Unity Stamp Company. We manufacture deeply etched red rubber stamps, which I'm going to use today because we just had a new arrival not long ago, and these stamps are amazing. And we also have a bunch of crafty supplies, inks and stencils and dies, and really anything that you would think of for card making, we probably have in our shop, kind of a one-stop shop. So I am just popping on live today. I didn't get a chance to announce the time that I was going to be alive. I apologize for that. But it just ended up working out, and I've had a few card ideas in my head, and I'm going to use a favorite technique of mine, and maybe it's your favorite technique too. Spotlight stamping or spotlight coloring is such a great way to make an image pop, and it just kind of makes card making quicker if you have like really detailed images like I'm using today and I don't really want to take the time to color them all. This is another great way to use them and get a different look, and I think you're gonna like it. So let's put it down to Project Camnic, and we will share which cards we're going to do today. So there are so many different ways that you can do this kind of spotlight technique. And if you look on Pinterest or you look on our website or whatever, you're going to see lots of different ways. I'm just going to share two different ways today. We just got an amazing new nesting die set, and so I thought that this is a perfect technique to share with you using this nesting die set and this amazing floral. It's just so unique and pretty. So I'm going to share with you how you can do that with some nesting dies. And then here's just kind of a way that you could do the spotlight technique with a background stamp, and then work in some of your other shaped dies, or if you have a heart punch, I think that would be perfect too. But I think that the heart is just kind of a fun addition. So let's get to it here. We're going to start with this one, and I was just saying we have a new nesting die set. So this is what comes in the pack. It's 4 dies, and they are so awesome. I'll just show them to you right now under the camera. So this is called Scallops and Rectangles Nesting Dies. So it has like these little baby scallop ones with the stitched detail. And then it has these that kind of go in there and fit in there. So you can use them alone like I am here, or you could do the scallop and then use the scallop as like a little border and put this over the top. There's so many possibilities. And another cool thing about these, if you run these two through your die cutting machine together like this, it cuts out a frame. So you can use this frame for making shakers, or even if you just wanted to put a little frame on the front of your card. So they are awesome. The exact measurements for these dies are on the website. I'm not even going to attempt to try to measure it because it's just not my strong suit. And so if you go to the description, Kelly has linked up all the measurements so you guys can see exactly the size. But just for reference, this is matted on an A2 card front here. So just a little bit slightly smaller than an A2 is the biggest. So that's kind of the star of the show right now are these dies. They're great for this technique. And then I'm going to pull out this awesome floral. It is called November Chrysanthemum. Is that how you say it?
Try one more time.
No. I don't know why we had to name it what it is, but I can't say it. So this is the November floral, and I am obsessed with this floral. Not only is it huge, like you guys, look at that. I'm just going to pull it out so you can see the detail too.
I hear people in the back like, we need 2 more of those, and they just kind of give up. And that flower one, that new flower one.
So here it is. It is absolutely gorgeous. I love the size of it. It is the perfect shape for doing this kind of corner stamping, which is one of my favorite things to do. So yeah, we're going to get to it here, and we're going to use one of the sentiments from in here too. So this floral represents the month of November, so it's great for birthdays and anniversaries and things like that. But I honestly think with this image and these sentiments, it really is a year-round type of stamp. So, all right, let's do it. So for this one, I'm just doing a black A2 sheet for our matting. This is watercolor paper. I'm going to do some watercoloring today, And I already have it die cut out with our cute little largest scalloped die. All right, moving this stuff aside. Start with our stamping panel. And I'm going to use my Big Misty. I'm just going to set this in there. And then we're just going to kind of decide how we want our floral positioned. Keeping in mind that I'm going to be flipping this and I need to make sure that these two aren't going to overlap each other in the center. So that looks pretty good to me. It's just kind of a partial stamp that we're doing. And I'm going to use VersaFine Clair. This is my favorite black ink for sentiments and for stamping on watercolor paper. It's a watercolor friendly ink. And I believe we just got it back in stock. All right.
Sue says she likes that the scallops are small. Other stamp companies have scallops, but they're too big.
Yeah, I love that too. They're just like little baby scallops. Yeah, I have other scallop dies and they're huge and I love them, but I really liked how Lisa Rana, she designed these. I really liked how she made them small. She did a great job on this die set. And she actually designed one other die while we're on the subject so I can show you. I know these are getting kind of popular with people, and it's the full cover plate. So this is an A2 cover die plate, and so you put it down and it cuts out all those little stars and just leaves you with like kind of a falling star effect. And then you can use all these little stars for embellishments or another background or whatever. So this one is falling stars. It's designed by Lisa as well. So she did 2 die sets this release and we're loving them. She's such a talented person. All right. So we got that all stamped. So now when I'm doing this type of technique, I like to just take my panel and literally just flip it. So I'm going to get kind of a mirror image on this bottom corner. And we did good. Our mums, I'm just calling them mums. I saw your guys' comments saying I just call them mums. So, I mean, they kind of look like the fall mums, but is that what they're supposed to be?
I think so.
All right, so stamping that out. There we have it. Perfect. We're just gonna clean this off while I remember here. Be a responsible crafter. So this floral, if you missed it, is the November Mum. And I love it. I love it so much. All right, so we already went ahead, we took our largest nesting die and we cut this out. Well, now we're going to go into that die set, which is in our shop, and we're going to take the smaller one of this cute little scallop just to keep it kind of uniform. So we're just going to take it and kind of position it in the middle so there's like an even border on all of our edges. We're just going to tape that down and then we'll run it through our die cutting machine. So now we are working with this. So we have kind of this little border and then we have this little square. So we are going to color up this little square. And I love doing this effect because sometimes I don't really feel like coloring through every single bit of the floral, and so this kind of helps to cut down on the coloring, and I just really like the effect. So for this one, I'm going to be using some water-based markers. So I'm going to be using my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. This is the color Wine Red. Then I have a little water brush here that I'm going to use for blending. It doesn't have water in it. I usually just have water off to the side. And yeah. All right, so let's get started. I am going to start with this floof first.
The what?
The floof.
Is that its like technical name?
No.
Oh.
So I'm just laying down pigment down where it would be darkest, and then I'm just going to take my paintbrush and pull that pigment up towards the top of the petal. So I always just kind of try to think about it that way when I am watercoloring, is laying my pigment down where it will be darkest, because some mediums don't blend out that well and you are going to end up with a darker patch anyways. This one's pretty easy to blend though. So I like to work with not a lot of water on my brush, especially with smaller petals like this. It's just a little bit easier for me just to do very minimal water. I can always go in, add more water, add more pigment, so I just kind of go like light-handed. I know this says wine red, but it's more of like a pinky color. All right.
Angie Blum loves these dyes.
Oh, Angie, I know, aren't they amazing? So obsessed. All right. So it is Angela's 49th birthday tomorrow. So we've been celebrating her birthday since last week because we've just had so many amazing arrivals that we were kind of saving for 2022. And then, of course, her birthday. And so we always like to have lots of treats for you during our birthdays. And so what Angela has in store for us right now is 50% off of stamps site-wide. The only exclusions are going to be past and present memberships. Anything that's not 50% off is probably marked down more so because Angela picked her top 49 favorite stamp sets and she marked them down to amazing prices. And then I had a crazy idea that she agreed to, and I don't really know why, but I said, what if we did stamp sets at $4.90, because she kind of has this thing, like, if she's gonna be 49, everything needs to be like 49s. You know, like it just has to be. And so we did $4.90 stamp sets. So yes, less than $5 on some stamp sets right now. And they are some really, really awesome ones. And they're not even itty bitties. They're like full-sized, nice stamp sets, all for $4.90.
Can you think of an example of one?
Yeah, so that Rise and Shine one, the barn, remember that one that we did?
Oh yeah.
And it's like, maybe you can pull up the link.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it.
And then another great one is that dinosaur one. I love the dinosaur one, Dynamite. That one's so great for kids' cards. And then, like, let's be real. Like, I would be ecstatic if I received a dinosaur card. So, it's for full-grown people, too.
Oh, I can't save the pictures.
Oh, yeah, I
Our
know.
website's too secure.
It's too secure. All right, so we're just coming down to the end of this first floral here, getting this colored up. I'm keeping my coloring fairly simple. Now I'm going to go in with a green, and I was feeling kind of like springy today because it's like 30 degrees out, you guys. It's spring! So I grabbed pale green, like I'm feeling all the spring vibes. All right, so we're just going to flip it. We're going to repeat that process. So the markers that I'm using, Marie, are called Zig Clean Color Real Brush Markers. So they come in a variety of sizes. I have a kind of mid-size pack. This is the 48 pack. I really do enjoy these. I usually use these for smaller areas, like when I have really intricate small areas because the brush tip is so small. These ones I use most of all, but you can see why I chose a different one because this brush tip is so big. It's just going to be a mess with me trying to get into those little crevices. So that's why I love having both of these. So definitely Karen markers, probably a little bit more bright and pigmented, but Zig Clean Color, they blend out just as nice and they help get into those little areas. So
Here's an example of one of the $5 kits. It's a cute little barn, a couple sentiments. Looks great on the streamline.
Yes, I love that one. Sorry. If you guys know weenie dogs, they like to bark. All right. So, watercolor is like my favorite coloring medium. Like when I do coloring, I mostly always am reaching for my water-based markers and stuff. So I have a lot of different markers. So don't feel like you have to have like every single thing and keep up with the Joneses when it comes to mediums. Just use what you love. It's just a technique, and you can use whatever coloring medium you love most. I mostly look for different layouts and stuff when I'm looking for inspo.
Faylene says she loved your video yesterday with Everett.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, that was so fun. I'll have to think of some other videos where he can pop in and I can teach him how to do different things. He's been so curious about shaker cards. So if you guys are curious about shaker cards and you missed yesterday's video, my 6-year-old son and I, we did a video together and I shared with him how to make 2 different shaker cards, and I can show you how they turned out after this. But just a fun video, and I loved how many people really liked seeing kids creating. I think it's so important to just get kids being creative and off their stinking tablets. All right. Just finishing this. So I'm using like literally barely any water, and it's blending out pretty nicely, I'd say. Oh, Sue watched the replay of Ev's with shaker cards. I'll have to tell him that you all loved hanging out with him. He'll really like that. Oh, what movie did Ev get to watch for his payment? We had to pay him to go live with me.
He watched Like Mike 2.
Oh yeah, it's from like the 2000s, right? Or is it from
he's
the 90s?
really into basketball movies. Yep, he loves those. We've got a basketball set up for him downstairs, so he watches Space Jam and Like Mike and plays basketball for hours.
So here is that finished kind of colored panel, and it's going to pop up. Just make sure you have it lined up correctly. There we go. It's going to really pop when we put that together. Let's go ahead and stamp out that sentiment. I love the look of white text on black cardstock. So here's my little stamping one. So this is like a little homemade embossing buddy that my husband made me, and he thinks he's so clever.
How's it work?
We're live. I have to be nice to you. No, I'm just kidding. It works great. I love it. Thank you. All right, so I'm just grabbing a little acrylic block here, and I'm going to use the sentiment from this gorgeous floral set, Sending Love and Hugs, just because I know at some point I'm probably going to be sending a card with that greeting. Sometimes I don't have a person. I'm going to go ahead. I have some really awesome white embossing powder. So if you don't have a great white embossing powder, we have this in our shop. It was just restocked. We have a variety of colors, but this one is the white. And if you want an even like brighter like white, you can use a white pigment ink instead of the clear embossing ink. Just whatever you'd like to do. Doesn't really matter. So we're just curing this with our heat tool. That turned out so cute, you guys. I love it. All right. Grab my little paper cutter. See how we do. I don't really do very well with like guillotine cutters because I can't
Ooh.
I have a hard time judging where, like...
A tip I learned with those, it probably won't work with the black paper, but if you turn your flashlight on the phone and put it under it, it creates like a perfect shadow of where it's going to cut.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's a little extra on the top here. Honestly, sometimes it's just easier for me to just do it by hand. Do you guys ever get that where it's just like, why do I bother? Like, why am I making things more difficult for myself? All right, so now we have our little stamp panel with our sentiment. And I'm looking for my adhesive. Looking for a friend.
Dad?
No. It was, I'll just use this. It was right here. It was right here. You took it. I'll just use this. Okay. So I'm just using a little bit of liquid glue. I'm using this tonic one, kind of like a tacky glue. And we're adhering this down right in the center, like that. Then we're just gonna flip over, we're gonna cut off those excess tails and not cut off our cute scallops. All right. Now we're going to take our black sheet of cardstock that we're going to use for our matting, and we're going to adhere this down flat. So any flat adhesive for this part will do just great. All right. One thing that's great about liquid is you can kind of maneuver it till it's centered where you like.
Aileen says she started crafting with her granddaughter when she was 3. Now she's 7 and gets all of her duplicates and has her own ink pads and blocks.
Oh, that's so cute. I really hope that Aria will like to craft with me. Evie's not super crafty, so I don't really push it. But every once in a while he likes to color. Every once in a while he'll ask me if he can make a card. And I'd always let him, but other than that, he's not a very, like, crafty person. All right, so I am using foam adhesive on this little panel. And we want this little panel, it's going to pop already because it has that pretty coloring, but now, even more so with that layer of foam tape, it will pop right off. And you could double up the foam tape too if you wanted more of a lift, but I think that that turns out really pretty. So then finishing touch on this card, I added some of our primrose sequins, and this is the end result. It's almost like the same color sequins. I love these flat back sequins for shakers and embellishments like this too. So here's the first spotlight effect card. Really, really fun. Florals are perfect for this technique. So if you have some florals in your collection, go find one. I'm sure you have one that's going to work great for this technique.
My mom's talking about the pumpkin she made with Everett, ... smiley face done. Do you remember that one? Was that the real life pumpkin, like the miniature one?
The one that he had in his bed.
Yeah.
He was like all upset. He's like, my pumpkin's rotten.
He found it so long later.
All right, so for this one, just so if you're wondering what sets were used, this die set is absolutely essential. I know I'm probably going to use it on like literally every single card I make moving forward. So highly recommend this. I love essential dies like this, scallops and rectangles. I still think we have a few in stock. So I would get it while it's in stock. Otherwise, it'll be a little bit. And then here is that floral, absolutely gorgeous. It's November chrysanthemum.
Mom.
It's the November mum. All right, so our next one here, I literally could not resist this background. When I saw Gracie send this background, I was just speechless. I'm speechless now because I'm obsessed. I love it so much. It's absolutely gorgeous. It is called Magnolia Background. So you can create a spotlight light effect using your backgrounds too. And this one's super duper easy and fun, and I'm excited to share it with you. So we're going to start off with the Magnolia Background. It is a full A2 background here, and it has polka dots in here. Like, can you go wrong with the polka dots and the, are they dog? No, they're magnolias, obviously. Are you ever just like, why? Okay. So for this one, I am doing an A2 black sheet of cardstock. This is going to be our matting. This is a sheet of watercolor paper that I've already die cut out with my handy dandy mini scallop die. I told you guys I'm going to be using this die all the time. I wasn't kidding. All right. So we're going to take our panel and we are going to stamp that gorgeous background on it. I have a vision of stamping this on craft paper and then doing a little bit of foiling too. I'll try that and see how it turns out, but I think that this would be a perfect one to foil and it would look gorgeous. So if I can get it to work, I'll pop on and do that. All right, so I'm just kind of positioning that background over the top of our watercolor cardstock. And then I'm going to be using my handy dandy favorite VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. Ooh, Angela's sharing the links. Thank you so much. All right. Stamp this down. Like, it's just so pretty, just like simply stamped. Like, it's so detailed. Like, look at that detail in the florals, you guys. Like, can you handle it? Because I can't. I can't. All right. There we go. Like,
That's a good looking stamp.
I know. Yep. So now I have just, this is a random die from my collection. It's not in our shop, but if you don't have a heart die, maybe you have a heart punch or maybe you have a circle punch or whatever you have, just grab it and use it. So I'm going to be orientating this kind of on the top half of my card here. And just making sure that I like the placement before I commit.
Connie on YouTube says she had to switch platforms from Facebook to YouTube because it wouldn't let her comment.
Oh, darn
So
Facebook.
that's good to know. If you're on Facebook and you're having troubles, just switch over to YouTube and follow our channel there.
Yes, we are always live on both YouTube and Facebook, and so that's always handy. So if you ever want to catch the replay, you can go ahead on our YouTube page, you can go on our Facebook page, either works. All right, oh, look at, there's stuff on my cutting plate, but I can fix that, no big deal. There was just a little bit of kind of smudgies on here. So I just used like a sand eraser. And I'll fine detail that a little bit more once it's dried. All right, so here is our heart. We're going to end up watercoloring this. So for this one, I'm going to be using my Karen brush markers just because I wanted to show you guys these ones in action too, and they're my favorite. So we're going to be coloring up all these magnolias in this kind of like magenta red, it's called. And then I, of course, have my little paintbrush, and we're just going to get started. I like to just like lay down the pigment first. So as you can see, like these markers are very pigmented. And just make sure you don't have like a ton of water or it just makes it messier.
Oh wow, this is interesting. Miss Mercedes says hers froze on Facebook too, and somehow her phone told her to click this link and it brought her to YouTube.
Is Facebook playing nice with YouTube?
That's wild.
That is wild.
Good for Facebook.
Good for Facebook. All right.
Christine's wondering if we sell those erasers.
We don't. So I got these little sand erasers. Like I have a couple of them in just kind of sitting in a tray in front of me, and I use them every time I craft because they're really great for if you get an ink smudge, you can just kind of erase off and dull that smudge. It works great if you have like a little bit of adhesive in the way too. But yeah, I got mine on Amazon. They're super cheap. It's just a mono sand eraser. I bet they even have them like locally, like in your Walmart and Target too. All right. So my coloring is inspired by a card that one of our design team members did, Colleen. She did a full coloring of this background, and the magnolias were in this bright pink, and then she did the background in a light pink, and I just thought it was gorgeous. So I wanted to try it too.
Yeah, Stephanie got 2 packs of sand erasers on Amazon, or a pack of 2. So.
Yep, they are worth having for sure. If you're messy like I am. I'm so messy, you guys, with smudging things and... Right.
What's your favorite part of the card making process? Is it like the coloring or the assembly?
It kind of depends on what type of card I'm doing. Like, right now, I would say my favorite of like these cards that I'm doing right now, it's the watercoloring, but then you get some cards where it's just like kind of simple stamping or like layered stamping, like our mandala, and obviously my favorite then is the stamping. So it just kind of depends on what I'm working with. Perfect. Yes, Leah, you should use your Karen markers. They are awesome.
A lot of people are saying they're having way better results for the quality of the video on YouTube. So that's
Really?
interesting.
That's good to know. I like that we're able to do like live on both. All right, so there our pink is. Now I'm gonna go in with a light brown, and we're gonna do these like stems and sticks.
Mom said her favorite part's the assembly.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that is really satisfying, like just kind of seeing it all come together. I love that too. All right, so now for that pink background. So I'm gonna just take a light pink Karen marker, and I am just gonna kind of trace around the image. And I'm gonna work in small areas because I need to be able to blend this out. And I don't want it to dry before I get a chance to do that, so.
Connie's wondering about the watercolor brush we're using. I think we ordered those in bulk a long time ago. We got like thousands of them.
No, these aren't the ones.
Those aren't the ones?
No, these are, there's not a brand on it, but I'm pretty sure it's from Amazon. It's just a water brush is what they call it. You can put water in the barrel so you don't have to dip it in water too. But I mostly don't put water in mine because I feel like I can't control it. I'm really like heavy-handed when it comes to like writing and stuff too, so it's just best that I don't have it filled with water. I just love this kind of shadowy look that it gives. Adding this little pink background.
That's really nice.
And you do have to be a little bit careful because you already watercolored all the rest of it, just to not pull in any of that brown or the darker pink, but all right. And then we just got to get this center over here. And then I think we're good on this one. I wanted to do an orange center, I think. Let's see where my orange went to. It's gone. All right. So here is our colored up center. And then here is this. See how that all kind of goes together? So now I can show you guys, you know, right here I have a little bit of smudging. I can just take that sand eraser and remove that. Just double check your cut plates before so you don't end up like me. All right, so for this one, we're gonna go ahead and mat this on our black cardstock. I'm gonna use a liquid glue just so I can kind of get in there close to the heart cutout. All right. Perfect. So now we're going to take our heart, we're going to pop that up with a little bit of foam tape. Oh, went a little bit too generous there. There we go. Perfect. We're going to pop this up. You could reverse it too, so like this could be flat adhesive and then the other part could be popped up, but I kind of like the colored part popped up best.
Shannon goes a little bit laughing phase.
For what?
A little bit too much foam tape.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to add a sentiment to this. I really, really like the sentiments that go in this set. And so I'm going to be grabbing the one that says, I love you. It's just in a cute little typewriter font. We'll put that on our block. I'm going to grab, seem to have misplaced my black cardstock, but that's okay. So we're going to do this as an embossed sentiment as well, so I'm just using my embossing buddy. I'm going to use some clear embossing ink. You can use white too if you want.
You should do one with white and one with clear. I want to see the difference.
And just see what it looks like?
Yeah.
Sure. My white isn't very pigmented right now. Like, it's not very...
Inky?
Yeah. So, that's why I'm really not using mine too. Because I'm guessing the difference will be pretty minimal with an ink that isn't very, like, inky. Honestly, you can't tell at all.
No.
It's the exact same. Were you just calling me out?
No.
Oh, because that's what, like, everybody says. Like, that's how you get the whitest white. And I usually always do it.
Maybe if it was a juicier ink pad, you would be able to see a difference more.
Yeah. All right, so I'm just cutting this into a little strip. And I thought this was kind of cute, popped up as well. All right, and I like it kind of hanging off a little bit. And then finishing touch for this, I really love these spring glittery enamel like embellishments that we have in our shop. So I'm just going to stick a couple of them on here. All right, So this card, you can kind of see a slight sparkle. So I added that slight sparkle with a fun product. It's not in our shop, but in case you love all things sparkly like me, this is what it is. It is a glitter dust. It's iridescent. And so you can put your card in a box once it's finished and spray it. And it adds this really, really pretty glitter sheen. Can you see it in the camera, Nick?
Hold a little lower, maybe. Yeah, oh yeah, there we go.
So it's really, really pretty. So that's what I did with this card. But you guys get the idea. I like to do this like outside or in a box though, so I'm not going to do it during live because it's just a mess otherwise. So that is the second technique with this super amazing background. I love, love, love this background. It is called Magnolia Background. And of course, I've been using our new favorite essential dyes the entire time here, which are scallops and rectangles. So I used that for both of my cards today. And if you missed it yesterday, my son and I were live and we were sharing how to create shaker cards, and we used a couple of our other new arrivals. So we used Lollipop Love, which I absolutely adore, as well as our new Buffalo Check Slimline stamp. So what's cool about this Buffalo Check stamp is we have it in both Slimline and A2. So if you love it, you could get it in 2 sizes. But we created some fun cards. So this was my card, my shaker card that I shared yesterday with the fun little sucker and the cute sequins in there. And here is Evie's. So, so cute. And we also made our own watercolor backgrounds. And then we created some fun pocket shakers. So these are using our shaker creators, which you can see on our website. This is the slimline one, so I just stamped out that plaid background. I added our Valentine sequin mix. How stinking cute is that? Just so so simple and so fun. So then we just added the sentiment. And here's
Are these items
Evie's.
live in the store now?
Yes, they are. And here's Ev's. I actually like how his turned out better because he like went crazy with the amount of sequins, and I think it's perfect. It's so much fun. Like if you sent this to somebody on Valentine's Day, oh my gosh, I think they would love it. So yeah, absolutely obsessed. So if you want to see how those were done, you can check that out. All right. That's all that I had to share with you guys today. I just wanted to pop on today and hang out with you guys a little bit and just let you know that we are treating you because it's Angela's 49th birthday, so there's 50% off of stamps and much more. So lots of deals happening over on our website. We have new arrivals. All of Angela's favorites are marked down and amazing freebies, including a $5 coupon for your next order. So all those details can be found over on our website. Right up at the top, you can check out the freebie, and then over on the left, you can click sale, and there's all of the things that are happening. So lots of fun. I hope to be live again tomorrow and hang out with you guys. So stay tuned for that. I am going to try to announce the time tomorrow. So, all right. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you really soon. Bye.